because many short-term solutions like increasing the retirement age of medical colleges, teachers, providing better incentives and challenging more funds have been proposed. However, it is important to seek a long-term solution. It is true that the healthcare industry needs more manpower. However, the fact that most of the young doctors who pass out to prefer to work on a very foreign countries and cities need not be overlooked. Hence, better implementation of the present medical education programs so far is the filling gap in rural healthcare sector is of vital importance. Ladies and gentlemen, as the global healthcare industry grapples with an unsustainable cost trajectory, it is also facing increased demand for healthcare services by an expanding pool of consumer patients and by growth in costly chronic diseases management. Healthcare costs around the world are increasing in disease management, and in 2013, the total healthcare expenses and the spent was $7.2 trillion industry, or about 11% of the world's gross domestic products. This figure is set to climb more than 5% a year for the next few years. In the US, costs are more than expected to rise to $4.8 trillion by 2021, accounting for almost 20% of the country's GDP. Unfortunately, it is not an efficient use of money either in the US. More than a quarter of the total hospital expenses accounted for were administrative costs, and that number is increasing heavily. The US outpaced the Netherlands, that is of 19 to 8% actually, and England 15 to 5%, ranking second in the highest. If the country could reduce its overhead spending to the lower levels that are found in Canada or Scotland, the country should reduce spending by 150 billion. Three are projected to reach more than 12 trillion within just 7 years. Given this outlook, therefore, radical measures are expected to be taken to control the spiraling expenses. Despite these economic indicators, innovation and digital transformation may often solid solutions for increasing the quality of care while containing costs, but only if executed properly. Additional competitors from outside the traditional healthcare sphere, including many from the technology sector, are seeking to enter the healthcare market. These competitors are not only eager to capture some of the healthcare revenue, but they are familiar with operating an endless cycle of aggressive competition, product development, and innovation. They also are accustomed to functioning in an environment where companies can be completely disenchanted from consumers in a matter of months. This constant state of reinvention and transformation is relatively recent one for healthcare, but it's one that here to stay. That is why governments, healthcare systems, health insurance companies, and other organizations are experimenting with wide scale now approaches to decrease health cost, which now stands at $948 per person a year globally, which is very, very alarming actually. Quality healthcare too is expensive for many people across the globe. This brings to the very vital question of how we are going to address these fundamental changes in the country. As I've been interacting with the various state governments, various statutory authorities, even the union government, I don't find any radical measures are being taken because they're too busy in this political sphere, they're too busy in political bickering that healthcare of the nation is being ignored. This is the biggest problem that is facing in the country, where 72% of the Indian populations do reside in villages and they do not have access to basic medicines. Can you imagine in India, which claims to be a superpower, who often go out, do foreign level diplomacy, who go out to other countries, reach out to these people, bring investment in India, and do all sort of business here in India. But is it possible, ladies and gentlemen, to do business in India if there is a stippling bureaucracy, and if the system is corrupt, and if the process is not that conducive to give incentives, to give all sort of measures that are seeking? Look at hospitals, look at healthcare institutions, look at pharma companies. They are not having any clear-cut reforms. They are not having clear-cut process to sort out. They are only blaming the pharma companies that are raising the cost of the prices. This is true that the spiraling cost of the prices of the pharma companies are posing the biggest threat actually, which needs to be regulated. And to my mind, which I have also given several memorandum and so many editorials to so many publications, that pharma companies need to be curbed, but not at the expense of bringing innovation in the country, giving them the spear. Look at US, look at in US actually. India boasts of largest number of FDA approvals in the country. When you talk about US FDA, when you talk about UK MHRA, we have all the facilities here in India actually. But the government is clamping, not the US government is clamping down these facilities. They are finding out the minute problems happening in the plant and putting a restriction on them. This is what is troubling this Indian pharma measures. You would have seen in Dr. Reddy's laboratory, you would have seen in Wockhardt, and you would have seen in various other companies who are facing these problems. And to my mind, this is only a revenge, but nothing to do with FDA, nothing to do with FDA guidelines, which they are regulating. Another important point which is missing out here is 80% of our healthcare expenses are paid out of the pocket, which to my mind is the biggest danger to the country. In a country where we are expanding heavily and we are claiming to be the superpower, I think it is high time that government comes out with a comprehensive healthcare policy to give to the millions populations of India a policy, a process, an infrastructure, a system that can address to the rural populations, that can address to the masses, that can address to the Aam Admis, which are the real interface of the society. These are the people actually who decide the future of the country. But it is a tragedy and it is ironical that political parties, including BJP, Congress, you name any political parties, nowadays even also Aam Admi Party, they're only concentrating only on saving their gaddis, not thinking about the Aam Admis who are the real stakeholders of the country. This is the way the state of the affairs of Indian economy has become now. I don't think any investment coming into India when there are a lot of problems happening here. We may go to various other countries. Modi might appeal to top destination hubs and bring a lot of people over here, but nothing is going to change in India unless and until we come out with a comprehensive policy and bring together the pharma companies, the healthcare leaders, the bureaucrats, the policymakers, and the general population in one platform and do it. We cannot do it in the streets, but we have to do it in the parliament. But to do it in the parliament, we don't have to fight. We have to debate, we have to analyze, and we have to find out the solutions lying before the country, and not to discuss what has happened to Bihar election, what will happen to UP election, what will happen to forthcoming elections. These are the two petty issues to be discussed. These are political issues. What I'm talking is about the fundamental problems. And the problem is very simple, that healthcare innovation is not healthcare innovation unless there is an access. If you do not have access to healthcare innovation, you do not have access to the basic medicines, we cannot claim that India has arrived next. To my mind, although I have highlighted these points, but I am very positive and optimistic that India will win finally and brand India will shine. With these notes, I conclude and I request Mr. Krishna Kumar to take over for the further proceedings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Satya, for your initial thoughts and really some thought-provoking thoughts over there from Satya. Now to move on with the summit, and it's a great pleasure for me to invite our first speaker for the afternoon, who will speak to us on enzymes as a new savior for better health care, Ms. Shilpa Rishbut, General Manager, Research Nutraceuticals, Advanced Vital Enzymes Limited. Advanced Vital Enzymes Limited and Windsor is engaged in the research and delivery of enzyme-based finished formulations for human and animal nutrition. At Windsor has adopted a business model where it develops and produces quality enzyme supplements and partners with nutrition and consumer healthcare companies globally to help them bring to market through private labeling. The vision to form at Windsor has its roots in the vision of the group founder, late Mr. L.C. Rathi. He had set up India's first natural enzyme plant way back in 1958 and is hailed as a pioneer of this industry in India. It was his vision that enabled the incorporation of advanced enzymes in 1989 with a view to take on the world and become leaders in enzymes manufacturing technology at a global level. It is due to his vision that today advanced enzymes is amongst the top 10 players in the global enzymes industry. Ladies and gentlemen, bring your hands together and welcome our first speaker for the afternoon, Ms. Shilpa Risbud, who will speak to us on enzymes as a new savior for better healthcare. Shilpa Risbud, please.
Slides. Slides. Can I have the slides presentation? Good evening, everyone. Small technical delay. They are just giving me my presentation. So, thank you very much, KK, for such a nice introduction of advanced vital enzymes. Since decade, we are working on enzyme innovations, and we're trying to bring out this we can say magic molecules kind of thing, which are very natural and kind of so close to your body, to India. And this is one of the efforts to like uh, to tell everyone, like all here are learned and they are in healthcare industry basically. There are some doctors also. So it is a small efforts from our side to let you know what is going on in globally with respect to enzymes. Thank you for the slides. Yeah, today I'm talking on little bit different subject of enzymes as nutraceutical supplement. My topic for presentation is enzymes are new savior for better healthcare. Uh, we all aware about enzymes being used in digestion and inflammation, basically for the treatment. Yeah, my objective today to share something more interested about enzymes, that how they can be used as a supplement for everyday life with vitamins and minerals. Overview, what I'm going to talk about. I will talk about the little bit refreshment about the enzymes introduction, then enzymes working principles or mode of action as a supplement, background and details about how these supplements are used and why they should be used. Lastly, I will cover how enzymes can save you to lead better quality of life and our working at Advenza and for quality enzyme supplements. I will end my presentation sharing with you a small example of lactase enzyme which can be like the first launching of Advenza in domestic market. Yeah, as you all aware that enzymes are catalyst for change. We can call them as a biocatalyst because they required for each and every biochemical reaction which is happening in our body. Almost 2,700 enzymes are working constantly to change us in our body and giving us energy throughout the life. Even we can take an example of biochemistry of acrosome reaction. So even the origin of life will not start without the enzyme. So you all here, you know like all learned over here, all are from healthcare industry, so you must be aware about the enzymes. So I can say like enzymes are energy of life. They are essential for existence, not only for human or animal,